Hello and welcome in again to an emergency. I guess that's the proper way. A special edition of our video podcast, Musings from the Mountains, presented by WVSports.com. I am managing editor Keenan Cummings.
And I am staff writer Patrick Kotnik.
Just when you thought recruiting was hot, it gets hotter. West Virginia has added another commitment, second four-star in the class, Jaylen Anderson from Ohio. Running back, if you follow West Virginia recruiting circles, you're familiar with him. Has visited several times, was on campus last year for a camp. Very, very impressive, compact athlete that really shows great balance and speed. I think those are the things that stand out to me when you watch his tape. Had a lot of offers. You know, he had Florida, Nebraska, Michigan State, Duke, Iowa, Louisville, you name it. It went for a while. Rated as the number 199th player in the country by Rivals.com. Four-star prospect, as I mentioned. He was most recently on campus for the February 1st Junior Day. And when you look at that hierarchy of running backs, you kind of had Justin Johnson, him, and Trenton Adkins. I don't think West Virginia's done. I think they want to continue to recruit guys, and I think that they have some very talented guys interested in them. But for now, let's talk about what Anderson brings to the table. What I like about this commitment for West Virginia, not only the fact you're adding a four-star player to the class, but you're getting back into Patrick's home state, the old Buckeye State, Ohio.
Buckeye State.
That's now the third commitment for West Virginia in the state of Ohio. And, Pat, you can talk a little bit about the talent there in the state of Ohio.
Definitely. Definitely. I mean, that's where professional football was born in the state of Ohio. I mean, year in, year out, you always see a lot of top prospects coming out of the state, especially where I'm from in Northeast Ohio. That's where Pro Football Hall of Fame is. Great county of football there. No, it's not the one that Jaylen Anderson played in, but just, top to bottom, you have a lot of great powerhouse schools in Northeast Ohio, Columbus, Cincinnati. It's really important for West Virginia to start building a more dominant pipeline to that state because, I mean, the talent in that state year to year is pretty great.
Yeah, and for West Virginia to kind of spark this up again, as I mentioned, 3 commitments already, all from very talented players. The thing about this class that's really starting to come together already, a lot of prognostication and other things where people are suggesting that, this could possibly be the greatest class of all time. This might be one of the better classes of West Virginia history. Well, so far, it's backing that up. 7 commitments right now. West Virginia's perched inside the top 20. I think they're 19th at last check. 3.29 average star rating for all the players in the class. If that ended today, that would be the top class in West Virginia history, at least in West Virginia history of the Rivals internet era from 2002 to now, in terms of quality per recruit. And I think that speaks volumes, especially with what's going on, that West Virginia was able to get these guys on campus early, get them sold on the school. And all these guys we've mentioned, there's been 3 commitments since this dead period started. All 3 of them are guys that visited multiple times, had great connections with the coaches, and just had a general interest in the school to lead them to this stage. If West Virginia wouldn't have been proactive before, they wouldn't be in the place they are now, landing players like Will Crowder, I should say that. I need to make sure I get that right. Goose, Hammond Russell, and now, of course, Jaylen Anderson, big-time prospect. Our Midwest Rivals guy, Josh Hilmholt, said he absolutely loves him. He's not saw him in person, but you look at his film, he is an absolute lock for the Rivals 250. They like what he brings to the table. You don't see that type of agility. You don't see that type of balance and speed for a prospect of his size. So overall, an absolute home run for West Virginia in their growing class, and one that continues to generate a little bit of interest. I think maybe we see a couple more commitments in the next few weeks.
Yeah, I think something else that stands out too is that it's complete opposite of what happened last recruiting class. I mean, they weren't able to add a running back until very late in the period, and now here we are kind of early here in this unexpected dead period, and look what they've been able to do. And they were able to add a running back too. And this is also going to be critical when it comes to building depth at the position as well. By the time Jaylen Anderson gets on campus, there'll be 2 scholarship running backs on the roster who will be entering their final year with the program. So also a key get when it comes to adding depth to the position.
Yeah, and if you look up and down this commitment list right now, this isn't West Virginia taking guys to take guys. These are their top guys. These are names that have been associated with West Virginia for over a year. Pretty much since these coaches got into Morgantown, all of these guys have been top targets. And if you're checking off commitments, you're adding commitments, And they're guys that when you put your board together, they're either at the top or right under that. You're doing a good job. And I think a hat tip to Neil Brown and company, because right now it's hard to argue with the results. And they're in on a couple other guys. They keep making more of these top 5, top 7, top 10s. There was even a top 17 they made recently. So they keep making all these top lists. And perhaps West Virginia, perfect case scenario, they enter the season with the bulk of this class field whenever the season does begin. So Jaylen Anderson, big-time commitment for West Virginia, another 4-star. That's 2 in the class, and really just a lot of positive momentum for West Virginia right now that is going to be hard to stop. I think, obviously, Wyatt kind of got the ball rolling a little bit, and now you got more guys jumping on board, which is what you want to see if you're West
Word
Virginia.
spreads quickly, that's for sure.
And another unintended consequence of this is the more guys that commit, the more others are going to want to try to get in as well if they're leaning West Virginia and not quite sure yet, because those spots are going to fill up. So, yes, it's a dead period. Yes, there's no sports, but, man, we've had a lot of fun recruiting news going on here lately. So
definitely
see if we can keep it up. See if Neil Brown and company can do the same. We'll be back soon. Thank you for tuning in again to another edition of Musings from the Mountains.